Hey everybody, this is Rykard here again, and welcome to another Pokemon Sets video, this time featuring Alomomola. Now this will be my second Pokemon Sets video featuring this Pokemon, and what I want to share today is a set that I have pretty much been using since the dawn of X and Y, but never bothered to post on my YouTube channel, and it's really amazing. So before we get into that, let's just start things off like we always do by taking a look at this Pokemon's typing, abilities, and stats. So to start things off, Alomomola is a Water-type Pokemon introduced in Generation 5 and is probably one of my favorite Pokemon to use competitively. As for its abilities, the first one that it gets is known as Healer, which is an ability that gives Alomomola a 30% chance at the end of every turn in a double or triple battle to heal the status of its partner on the field. As for its next ability, it is known as Regenerator, which is an amazing ability that allows Alomomola to recover a third of its health every single time it switches out. And then its last ability, which is Alomomola's hidden ability, is known as Hydration, which is an ability that allows Alomomola to heal its status if rain is on the field. So if rain is on the field, Alomomola uses a move like Rest, for example, it will recover all of its HP, and then at the end of every turn, Hydration will heal the sleep, basically allowing Alomomola to get up to full health for free if rain is present, which is really awesome. But as for its stats, Alomomola has a massive base 165 HP stat, which allows this Pokemon to be incredibly bulky. And when you pair that with its 80 defense, it allows Alomomola to be an amazing physical wall, which is what you typically see this Pokemon being used as. Now unfortunately, its special defense is only base 45, which is weaker of the two defenses. However, there are many ways to remedy this issue, such as running max special defense or using the new Assault Vest item to allow Alomomola to be a little bit bulkier from the special side. But for its attacking stats, Alomomola has a pretty mediocre base 75 physical attack, which does allow it to do some good damage from the physical side, but don't expect this Pokemon to be sweeping your opponents anytime soon. However, as you have seen probably in my past Alomomola video, I did run a banded Alomomola for a little while because I thought it was really fun. People really don't expect it, and running a choice band on a Pokemon that gets recovery every time it switches out through a generator is actually pretty fantastic, despite the fact that you wouldn't normally see that on this Pokemon. But it's still pretty good, and I suggest you check that out in my other Alomomola video if you haven't yet. But for its special attack, it is unfortunately only a base 40, meaning you are not going to be doing a ton of damage with its special attacking moves. However, people often still opt to run Scald on it just because of the burn chance, so keep that in mind if you do want to run a special attack on Alomomola. Scald is definitely the way to go for the burn chance. And lastly, its speed is only base 65, which is fairly slow, meaning that Alomomola will be on the slower end of the Pokemon that you pick for your team. However, it doesn't really need to be that fast because it is typically used as a wall, so you're not really going to need to be worrying about this low speed stat anyway. But with that, everyone, let's jump into the set that I have for you in this video. So for this set, we're going to begin by giving Alomomola an Impish Nature to increase its physical defense and lower its special attack. And for the ability, we're going to be going with Regenerator to allow it to recover HP every single time it switches out. As for the EVs, we're going to put 164 into HP, 232 into defense, 100 into special defense, and then 12 into speed. And this might seem like a really strange EV spread, but I have done quite a few calculations with this Pokemon using this EV spread, and have found that this is the most effective EV spread with the Assault Vest item to allow Alomomola to take physical and special attacks ridiculously well. The reason why I'm not maxing HP here is because Alomomola's HP is ridiculously high as it is, so you can take quite a few of those HP EVs out and reinvest them somewhere else, which I chose to put them into speed or special defense and speed. Now the speed EVs might seem a little weird because it is a wall, but I personally am a fan of making my walls a little bit faster to make them outspeed things in the same speed tier, and especially in the situation where I would have an Alomomola out versus your Alomomola, I know mine's going to outspeed yours because I took the time to invest into speed, whereas you probably didn't. But with the Assault Vest, it allows Alomomola to boost its special defense by one stage, while having the drawback of not being able to use non-attacking moves. Now, a lot of you might be thinking, why would you do that on Alomomola? Because the point of this Pokemon, or at least what you think is the point of this Pokemon, is to use Wish, Protect, Toxic, and then Waterfall or Scald, which is pretty much every single Alomomola set you are ever going to run into. Well, I'm here to tell you that you don't actually need to do that with Alomomola to make it extremely effective, and I actually find that this set is even more effective than the traditional Wish Passing set that you run on it, just because of its ability to take both physical and special hits really well, which it normally wouldn't be able to because its special defense is really weak in comparison to its physical defense. So in order to make use of only attacking moves on the set, because we're using an Assault Vest, the first one we're going to be going with is Aqua Jet, which first of all, a lot of people don't even know this Pokemon gets, but allows Alomomola as a wall to be a potential revenge killer for your team, which is ridiculous in itself to think about because you don't really see this Pokemon doing that ever, but it can take hits really well and also revenge kill at the same time, which is giving it way more utility than you're probably used to. Waterfall is there as your main stab attacking move, and then we obviously have Knockoff because it's the best move in the game, and then along with that, which is pretty much the crux of the set, is Mirror Coat, which people don't realize you can use with an Assault Vest, but Mirror Coat itself is actually an attacking move, so you can use it. And the reason why this is so great is because you are supplementing your special defense, which with the Assault Vest, which most people know to try and hit Alomomola with. So for example, Alomomola is very prone to getting Volt Switched on and things like that. Well, with an Assault Vest, you will never die from a Volt Switch if you're at a pretty decent range of health. And to give you an example of just how bulky this Pokemon is, a Choice Specs Volt Switch from a Thunderous Therian, which is probably one of the most powerful Volt Switches you could ever run into in the game, does only 76 to 89% damage to Alomomola with the EV spread and the Assault Vest item, which just goes to show you how ridiculously bulky this Pokemon is. And more often than not, you're not going to be taking those super powerful Volt Switches. You're going to be taking hits from weaker Volt Switches, like from Rotom Wash Volt Switching, running a defensive set, or other things like that. So more often than not, you won't even have to need that much health to live one of those. And also just the fact that you can take super effective moves incredibly easy, regardless of, the ridiculous power that, Thunderous Therian has in this particular case. Now, one thing to keep in mind, though, is that Mirror Coat is a Psychic type attack, so it does not work against Dark type Pokemon. But the great thing is, if your opponent does Volt Switch and goes into another Pokemon, the switch-in is going to die from Mirror Coat, provided it isn't a Dark type, because of how much damage you're going to take and how you completely double that back out to whatever switches in, which is just amazing and allows Alomomola to be a pretty good KO Pokemon for what it's worth in terms of, taking its own damage and dishing it out back to the opponent, while also having the added benefit of the knockoff utility and also the revenge kill power through Aqua Jet. So this allows this set in particular to be extremely multifaceted and do a ton of things, take out Pokemon that would never expect to be taken out by this Pokemon, and just wall physical and special attacks for days. Also, fun fact, a Bolt Strike from a Zekrom won't kill this thing at full health with this EV investment, just to throw that out there. But anyway, I have been using this set pretty much since X and Y came out, and I've just never gotten around to make the video for it. But thankfully, I have been able to share it with you today, so I'm really happy that I'm able to do this and share just how great an Assault Vest Alomomola can be. Now, a subscriber of mine by the name of Brandflakes325 took this set and turned it into something a little bit different that looks more similar to a standard Alomomola, but also gets a lot of the benefits of the Assault Vest one that I wanted to share with you right now as well, so shoutouts to him for this and kind of tweaking my original set idea. So what he decided to do was run a Calm Nature to increase its special defense and lower its physical attack, and then for the EV spread, run 252 HP EVs, 4 defense, and 252 special defense EVs, which results in Alomomola having its max HP and max special defense with the leftovers item. Now for the moves, this looks very similar to a standard Alomomola you're used to seeing, however it also gets the benefit of Mirror Coat like with the Assault Vest one that I just showed you. So not only do you get the Wish Passing potential as typical Alomomolas, but because you're running max special defense, you can run Mirror Coat very effectively and also make use of a fourth move for this set, which will either come in the form of Toxic, Scald, or Knockoff, depending on what type of utility you want to run, though Toxic is pretty much the preferred one for this set in particular. Now, just like the previous set, you are able to live a plethora of special attacks that you typically would not see Alomomola taking as well as it is able to with the special defense EVs on this set or the Assault Vest on the previous set, such as being able to very easily live a Solar Beam from a Charizard Y, among other things that you would obviously be able to take easily with this set. Also, an advantage of this set as opposed to the previous one is that you do get the Wish Passing ability, and you can also fake Wish Passing to another member of your team and Mirror Coat on the turn your opponent tries to potentially kill the switch-in, because you will very easily be able to obviously live the special attack. Also, a lot of people protect a lot of the time, especially when you're playing against better players, so you could use that as an opportunity after you've set up a wish to go for your other moves, such as Toxic, Scald, or Knockoff, if they try to take advantage of you potentially going for protect by setting up with any attack or whatever they feel like doing in this situation. But anyways, everybody, that is it for this video. So I wanted to thank you for watching and seeing the many examples of why Mirror Coat Alomomola is one of the best Pokemon to use as a defensive wall of some kind. You have my Assault Vest set, which is kind of the original thing that I came up with to allow it to have much utility through Knockoff, also Revenge Killing through Aqua Jet and things like that. And you also have Brand Flakes 325 set, which is kind of a more supportive spin on what I already showed you through the ability to Wish Pass and also potentially status things through Toxic or Scald or whatever you decide to use in that last move slot. But anyways, everybody, that is it. So as always, thank you for watching, take care, goodbye, and I will see you all next time.